Hello, biological anthropology students. Welcome to Anthropology 140. And this particular section is 3931. This is our short-term intercession for between summer and the spring semesters. The dreaded short term, now I always call it, because we really only have, 16 or 17 days to get this course done. And I'm going to give you some good news and some bad news about that. And many of you are trying just sort of hanging in there to see if this is a course that you want to take, whether you want to keep it or you want to drop it. And I can try to be an honest guide about this. And I think from your perspective, what you're really concerned with, probably at this point, is getting a decent grade out of the class. So here's what we found. I found, at least in teaching this course for about the last decade, is that the mean distribution of grades at the end is right on par with what I get for teaching any other online full-term semester course or even face-to-face. Pretty much the GPA is all going to be the same. That's the way that it works out. But there is a lot more work to do. So if you're taking this class, I mean, I've had students that have actually taken two intensive short-term summer courses before, and they've done okay. They've done okay. I wouldn't suggest it. I would, if this is the only class that you have for the intercession, I think your chances of getting that coveted grade that you want, whatever it is, a little bit more attainable. So think about it. There's a pretty intense workload. Now, supposedly I'm supposed to teach this in a way that offers the exact same body of information that you would see in a full-term, semester course. It's not going to happen. I can't expect you to ingest 16 to 17 weeks of information in 16 to 17 days. It's just not going to be possible. And I commend you for even trying it to begin with. So I've throttled down on a lot of the information in the regular courses, which I think more students find appealing too. This isn't going to be that mad dash all the time. I'd rather you think more critically about the stuff you're presented with than just having massive amounts of volumes of information. But that said, you're still going to see quite a bit of info. But let's go through it and see what you're up against. And also lets me explain some of the course mechanics and how you can sort of utilize me for help. All right. So what I want you to do is get the syllabus up. So you can go down to the Canvas module, the side over here on the left-hand side, and click on syllabus and bring it up. So now's a good time to maybe pause this video, bring the syllabus up, and then we'll go through it. Here you're back. I hope you've got that syllabus up. So reading that, you can see this information at the top about me. I'm Chris Mercer. There's the course dates, 26th through June 11th. And very importantly, how to contact me. All right, there's my email address. Now it says, unless there's an emergency or holiday, there are any holidays. Emergency, you'd have to be dead not to return your email. I'll return your email within 24 hours. All right, in intercession, more realistically, I'll get you back in 4 or 5 hours. Your questions are too critical because you're moving so quickly with the information. So every 4 or 5 hours. And it says Monday through Friday. It doesn't mean that I won't email you on the weekends. It's only if I'm around to do it. Like if I'm out with the kids or doing something, I may not be there to get your email back right away. But I can't guarantee I'll get you back in a compressed period of time, but I'll try to on the weekend. Now that's the same thing for trying to get a hold of me by the phone. You can phone me or you can text me. There's my text number or phone number right there on the screen, 925-335-6298. And again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm usually always be there for you to get those quick text replies or a voice call. I love voice calls. I love to contact, see who you are. It's really important for me to contact people. But also the idea of the weekends. You could try to text me or call me on the weekends. It's just if I'm busy doing something, the kids are out, whatever. I just may not be available for the call. Okay, so I can't guarantee it's Monday and Friday through Friday, which I will guarantee. Okay, but I don't want you to dissuade you from trying on the weekends. All right, and lastly, through chat. So we have a little chat program here. We can chat. I can see your little emblem come up. You click on mine, come on. We can do this face to face like we're doing now, or you can see videos of each other. Transmissions. I'll be happy to work with you that way. In fact, it's pretty good for office hours a lot if you need to speak with me. But you have to let me know, of course. Just hit me at Mercer. Let's arrange some sort of chat, and I will. Whenever we figure it out. That's whatever is best for you. Okay. Now. Next, the course. Let's see what you're up against. So the first part of the course is a description of what you're doing. It's a fairly long-winded description, and it starts out with, you're about to embark on a digital journey of the dawn of human time. Well, yes, you are. But really, what this is all about is the purpose is to try to get you to think more along the lines of what it is to be human, and to learn more about what it is to be human. And we take this experience to be a relatively, taken for granted thing because we're just sort of thrust in the world, and we sort of have to cope with it and try to become happy. But why is it that we do what we do? What are we evolved to do, and how do we become this way? That's really what we're after. And we're after that in a biological sense, what it is to be biologically human. But we have to take that with a little bit of a caveat here. The way in which we think about the world, the way you think about your lives and everything that you do is a reflection of biological hardware in our bodies and our mental faculty. So in a way, we're also going to be looking at what it is to be psychologically human. I mean, our capacities to create, think, and transmit our thoughts to others, and working together jointly. In other words, our capacity for culture. While this is not a course in cultural anthropology, it is not. It's really not tenable to be able to divorce those two subjects completely away from each other. Although we're trying to stay away from the heavy-duty cultural stuff, we want to figure out how it is we can produce it. Okay. Now, down the list here, you're going to see student learning outcomes. Those are what the state administrators decide to put together. Yeah, you'll get all of that plus more in this course. This is just kind of a short list. What's really important are the learning materials you need here, the required texts. All right, so there are two of them. The first one is a book called Evolution, Making Sense of Life by Zimmer and Douglas. It's a very good general evolution text. I don't use an anthropology text for the reason they just aren't any good. The evolution folks, the ones that really deal with this, produce really good stuff, visual, and reading stuff for students. So I've chosen that book. That book will be more of a reference guide than a strict reading guide. I don't know what it's like for you guys, but I know when I was a student, the one thing I hated to do was read textbooks. Like, I just don't go shopping for textbooks to read. I mean, because for me, the purpose of it was an encyclopedia, specialized encyclopedia, to look up stuff when I actually needed it. And that's really what this is going to be for, is a reference book. And I'll give you tips to what to look forward to, to help you if you're sort of fuzzy on the concepts that may not be making through. That's just your first go. Look at that. And then if you can't figure out the concepts, then we can get back to me and I can work with you on it. Right, now, the next book is much more critical to read. And this one is the story of the human body. Unfortunately, it's a smaller book. It's a small book. It's like a storybook. And it deals with not only how we've evolved, what we're evolved to do, but the complications of having our particular bodies in modern societies. What's the conflict? What's the consequences? And so that is an actually required book. Now, in a regular semester, we're not going to begin to use that book towards the middle of the semester. So, I tell students at that point, hey, wait till the middle of the semester and buy that if you have to. When the course is only 16 to 17 days long, you need to get that book now and have it, because we're going to be reading it in just a few days from now. Okay, so make sure you have that. All right, next down the line, it says required texts. Or not required, but recommended text, sorry. And you'll see Your Inner Fish, A Journey of 3.5 billion year of history of the human body. All right, so we're going to be looking at a series of videos in this class called Your Inner Fish. And there's 3 parts to that. And that book is just really the entire transcript and more of those videos. For those of you that need more information than a video, if you're a watcher, like I just watch the video and go, oh, I love the graphics. And I really don't suck a lot of the video out of it. I really sort of need a companion book. For those of you who don't want to spend that much time or are good at like watching videos, taking some good notes with them, you're not going to need to have that. But if you find yourself fuzzy with it, that's the go-to. You can get a copy of that. They probably are. Most of these things will be available online too. All right. Now, the next thing says provided text. Those are just papers I put up. There'll be a couple of short papers for you to read. And I try to make them short, 4 to 6 pages or even less, to just target exactly what the concept is. Right? All right. Now, the presentation of this course is online. I'm going to try to sort of dice it or mix it up between PowerPoint presentations, which I'll place on online for you, and I'm going to embed sound files in them. So you'll open them up like a normal PowerPoint, in a slideshow, and you'll see a little speaker, button on them, or a little thing button on the gold button. Just click on it, and it'll give you a guided tour of the slides, a lecture per se of what's going on. That's one way in which I'm going to do the presentations. The other way will be short reading assignments and videos. We're living in an age where we've got such wonderful video presentations, and in this particular discipline, they're really awesome. So between those three, I think we can put together a pretty good learning environment. And we've done this before for many years, and the students seem to be happy. Okay, now next, what we got to think about for those of you that are involved in DSS or disability support services, for testing purposes, your little quizzes and stuff. Yes, you'll get the regulation allotted time and all this sort of stuff in which you need. What I'd like you to do, is let me know. Just give me a quick email. Say, hey, I'm part of the disability support services, so I'll know what to do with you in testing, and I can have those arrangements already for you. All right. Now, course requirements. Here's what we have. There's 4 modules to this course. It's breaking down into 4 components. And at the end of each module, there is a quiz. They're really exams, but they're for your purpose. It sounds better if they're quizzes, right? Well, each one of those is worth 100 points, including the final exam. So there's 4. What I do is you're only graded out of 300 points. So of the first 3 quizzes that you take, I'm just going to drop your lowest one, and it'll come down to just 300 points. Right? So on your syllabus, you'll see the breakdown of what you've got to get. Like for the coveted A, anywhere between 270 and 300 points. I'm also going to be offering 2 10-point extra credit assignments. And these will be viewing assignments for you to look at. And give me some written response about what you see. I'll have some fun films or something for you to tease out some ideas about biological anthropology, what you see in them, and then I'll give you an opportunity, to get 20 points back, which could be significant, right? So I'll post those as we move through the course, and you'll see them pop up, just those points, all right? So look for those, or I'll send out announcements when I have those online for you to do. Adds and drops. It's going to be fast. I think in like a day or so, maybe 2 or 3 days to drop or add the class. So obviously that if you're in here, you're added. So if you're like, I can't do this, get out quick, because after that it becomes more complicated to sort of drop out of the class, and you might get a W. It's one of the sort of the downfalls in the online environment. All right. Now next, policies. Here's the thing, when we talk about, the Diablo Valley policy of academic honesty, well, here's the thing, it's like, how do you attract that in an online environment? Well, you know what? Really what academic integrity actually means to me is just make sure you're doing activities in which you learn, and then when you do assessments, make sure that those assessments are taken by you to figure out how much you have learned, okay? Not to try to circumvent the learning process, because in the end, if you don't do that, you're going to shortchange yourself. The exams that you're going to be having, 3 of those are going to be just sort of like regular multiple choice, short fill in the blank answers online. And, I don't expect you to try to cheat or something, or have the local expert next to you to help those. The exams are going to be easy enough. I'm sure you won't have to. Now, in the last exam, I give you 4 days to actually answer 2 questions, and I'm going to leave that open for you to be creative about how you want to answer. Now, at that point, I do want you to search around for ideas. That's the idea, is to grab as much information from others, other experts, any information you can find to answer those questions. So I don't think academic integrity is going to be an issue at that point, because I want to treat you like a regular co-researcher that I would have, where we look for every information source we can when we're trying to tackle problems. All right. As far as exams are concerned, they're going to be posted on the day in the syllabus. You can see, at the end of each module, there will be a posted exam. It will be for that day. I'll leave it open from like whatever, 6 in the morning to 12 midnight. So you'll have to take it sometime during that day, unless you have a real good excuse for, oh, that ends up being that exam that you dropped. It's just really important that you take it on that day. So look at it and make sure you're there to take them, okay? And if you can't, I really need you to let me know ahead in advance. And if you do that, I'll give you an opportunity to take it out. I'll actually unlock it for you. Okay. Now let's think about the schedule and what we have going here. So now you're down to the actual modules themselves. So you can see we're beginning with module 1. So right after this video, we'll begin an introduction to physical and biological anthropology and how to expect. And for that one, we're going to start out with a video presentation just like I'm doing right now. And then I'll be moving into a PowerPoint presentation for you, anthropology and its subfields. And then below that, you'll be watching a short video called Doing Anthropology. That will be your assignment. That'll be one complete assignment. Okay? And you'll see those in assignment blocks within the module. The next assignment, which will be after that, will start with what is science. Again, I'll be doing a slight video introduction to that. You'll find a PowerPoint and a reading, The Development of Science. Okay? And then we'll start a different assignment. So you can see the sort of flow. I want you to get used to the sort of flow in which you're going to be getting. So as you move through these assignments, they record what you've done as you move, as you've seen them. So I can also see, are you guys making significant progress or not? Because the one thing I don't want to do is like, June 16th comes around and all of a sudden someone's out there and it's like, they've just seen this video and that's all they've done. I'm like, oh man, I'm freaking because I really want you to succeed. So I may bug you every once in a while. If you get too far behind, like if you're too far behind, I'll kind of remind you, hey, you're too far behind, because I do really worry about your success in this class. But I hope you can sort of see the sort of tempo and pace that we're going to be doing. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to say about the course itself, that while there is a lot of viewing assignments, and I think students respond well to those, what I want you to do is think about when you're watching these films, that there's going to be, after each one of these films, I'm going to have like some review questions for you to do. These aren't going to be review questions for you to turn in. These are review questions that are going to help you sort of do well on the exams. But I think the best thing to do is look at those review questions, see what they say, and then watch the viewing assignment. Therefore, the triggers are already placed in your head. Like when something comes along, you can play a lot more keener sort of focus on it, instead of waiting for the video to sort of finish and then look for the study questions and going, oh, I think I remember some of that. Yeah, I think watch those questions first, then watch the videos. Right? So that's all for now. So you can go ahead and start the first assignments. And also, I want to make sure this. By the time you got to this point, you should have done the very first thing, which was do the meet and greet. I do want to make sure that you accomplish that. That means just sending out hello to other students and answering those questions, telling other students about yourself, why you're in the course, maybe some of your questions or concerns about taking an online class. And many of you have taken lots of online classes, and you're going to see people that are worried about it or something. You can be that one-stop source to reply to them and say, hey, don't worry about it. I've done this before. This is one of the best strategies. You can sort of assist each other and that way get to know each other. And also is allow you to exchange information, like contact stuff, so you can find study partners, right? And people that you can lean on to kind of help you through the course. So complete that too. Make sure. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.